Welcome back to the Brewers franchise here in MLB 15, the show. And in today's episode, we will be doing a game against the Washington Nationals on June 12th. It'll be Kyle Lohse for us, Max Scherzer, their ace for them. But before we get into that, we're going to go over what happened between the last game we played and the game we're going to play in today's episode. As of right now, the Brewers are sitting at 26-35 in the season, so there are a few games under 500. Playoffs are not really what we're shooting for. And right now, they're 11 games out of first place, and I guess you could say they're in second place. I'm not really sure how you count this, because the Cubs and the Pirates have a two-way tie for first place. So would you count Brewers as third place? Or would you, because they're the third team on the list, or would you just count them as second place because they're second team on the list? I would say third place. I'm going to say third place because I think that's correct. And the biggest thing that happened in between what we are going to do in today's video and last video is the first year player draft. So heading into the first year player draft, we had the 15th overall pick. We did all our scouting and everything like that. And in the first round, we were looking at a few guys. First guy we looked at was Marvin Maurer. He's an outfielder, left-handed bat, right-handed pitcher. He was an all-around good player. He's really ready this upcoming season, so I was like, yeah, it seems like a good guy here. We have him fully scouted. He's got a high 80 potential. If he does well, he could possibly move that up to like a 90, move it up to an A. Or we were also looking at a closer. Andres Garcia, a right-handed closer, a little bit of a younger guy, won't be ready until a couple years later. Or there was a catcher in Steven Gonzalez, because I wanted to get a catcher just in case the unlikely scenario, because I want to re-sign Lucroy, but if we can't re-sign him, it'd be nice to have a catcher of the future, and right now we don't. So I looked at this guy, but I was like, yeah, I'm not looking at that far away of an ETA, because I would like to have this guy up, I don't know, when I'm actually playing this series, and not just draft him for the thought of being like, oh, in 15 years we could have this guy, because he's like a 30 overall. And we also looked at a left-handed pitcher named Michael Whitting. He is a starter, but I decided to go with the outfielder Marvin Maurer. I thought he was the safest option. We're going to need a left field. We're going to need an outfielder. He seemed like a good option, so Marvin Maurer came to the team. So he's our first round pick, and now looking at the rest of the rounds, from 1 to 7, we had Marvin Maurer, outfielder, in the first round. Second round, we had Peter Laird, a starting pitcher. Third round, we had a first baseman, Richie Palmero. Fourth round, we had a relief pitcher in Robert Elia? Something like that. In the fifth round, we had another outfielder in Will Fontaine. I guess if it was French, it'd be Fontaine or just Fountain. It's probably Fontaine, to be completely honest. And then, those are the only guys we ended up signing to contracts, as our 6th and 7th round draft picks just weren't good enough. Ramon Trejo, I was kind of hoping could sign because, well, I could have had the whole storyline that he's like Danny Trejo's like nephew or something, or like his son. So that, we can't do that. So Danny Trejo, or Ramon Trejo, is not signed, and then Daryl Plummer, a relief pitcher, also not signed. And last episode, I brought up the possibility of sending down Martin Maldonado to AAA, giving some playing time down there, and bringing up Robinson Diaz, who is a solid contact hitter catcher, and I decided to do that as Robinson Diaz is going to be called up. He will be making his debut in today's video, and Martin Maldonado will be sent down to AAA, see what he can do down there in the minor leagues. Ryan Ludwig, on the other hand, is not playing well, and he's down to a 69 overall because his stats are going down tremendously. I did not expect them to go down this quickly, but they are. They are going down very, very, very quickly. He's down to a 69 overall, like I said. He's hitting like 220, so that platoon at first base might just come down to Lind playing as against lefties, even though he's not very good against lefties at all. As far as how the stats for the team is looking for the pitchers, Matt Garza in the one spot for the pitchers is 4-4 with a 2.82. Kyle Lohse is 4-5 with a 3.30. Jeff Niemann is taking over in the rotation for Willie Peralta, who was demoted to long reliever because Peralta had a 3-8 record with a 5.69 ERA. So he was moved to long reliever role, and Niemann will be moved to the starter role as he spent a few games in that long reliever spot, and he's getting a chance now in the rotation. I believe he's like our third best starter overall-wise, so I thought, why not give him a chance? Jimmy Nelson 4-5 with a 4.46, and then Taylor Jungmann is 6-3 with a 3.64. Flip things over to the batting side of things. The batting orders haven't changed at all. They might mix things up here in maybe a month or so, maybe next episode, the lineups will be switched up a bit. But as of right now, they're still the same thing, and Scooter Gennett's ridiculous start is not a ridiculous start anymore. He's just hitting like a still cool 293, 5 home runs, 16 RBIs, not complaining about 293 at all, even though he's currently on a cold streak. Adam Lind has been delivering that power bat in that cleanup spot against righties. He's hitting 275 with 12 home runs and 37 RBI. Jonathan Lucroy hitting 295 with 5 home runs, 26 RBI. Chris Davis is struggling, however, in that left field spot. He's been warming up a bit in his last 5 or so games, but as of right now, overall, he's hitting 211 with 7 home runs and 21 RBI. So he's got the home run and RBI numbers. He's just hitting 211 with a sub 300 OBP. So not exactly what you want to see. In center field against righties is the starter is Shane Peterson, while against lefties it's Domingo Santana. And Shane Peterson has proven to be a pretty solid call-up. He's hitting 295 with 10 RBI. He's just being a solid guy to come off in a platoon and do some work. And now let's hop into a game against the Washington Nationals. Our 26-35 Milwaukee Brewers played host to the 37-23 first place Washington Nationals here at Miller Park. Kyle Loesch got the nod for the Brewers. He's 4-5 with a 3.30 ERA in 12 games started. And we'll start things off top half of the first with him. As leadoff batter of the ballgame, Denard Span takes the first pitch of the game into left center field. That'll land for a base hit as it gets up against the wall, and he'll get himself into second with an easy stand-up double, the speedster Denard Span. So now the next batter up in the inning is Yunel Escobar with a 1-0 count. He'll pop this one up the deep right field as Ryan Braun is there to put it away for the first out of the inning, but Denard Span is going to be able to tag up on the throw, so he's on third with 1 out. And then Bryce Harper, the young power hitter, comes up in the 3-hole, and he draws a 4-pitch walk. So now we have runners on the corners with 1 out, and that will bring up Wilson Ramos. The cleanup hitter, 1-2 count on him with 1 out, runners on the corners, and he rips one into right field right at Ryan Braun. He catches it, Span's tagging up from third. He'll score and make it a 1-0 Nationals lead as they strike first here in this ball game. Next batter up is Ian Desmond. 1-1 count on him. Runner on first. That's a single right up the gut. Runner will hold at second, so it's first and second here for the Nationals as Ryan Zimmerman, the longtime Washington National, comes up. First and second, 2 outs, chopper up the middle, and that'll score the runner from second as the throw comes, but it's just not in time as it's now a 2-0 Washington lead to start off this ball game. And then with 2 outs, bases loaded, Dan Uggla comes up. He pops one up shortly into left field as Chris Davis camps under it, puts it away for the final out of the inning. Finally, 2-0 Nationals at the end of the top half of the first as Max Scherzer comes in the bottom half of the first, 5-5 with a sub-3 ERA in 12 games started. He'll be facing Gene Segura to lead off the ball game, and he rips one right back up the gut as he starts the ball game off for the Brew Crew with a base knock. And then Gene Segura is fast, so what does he do? He goes and swipes second base while Scooter Gennett's at the plate, throws in the dirt. They have no chance to throw him out, so he's on second already in scoring position. Scooter Gennett has a 2-2 count with nobody out, and 1 on second as he rips one back up the middle. Gene Segura is fast, so well, he gets the home plate. And now it's a 2-1 ball game as Gene Segura gets to the plate, and it's 2-1 now as Ryan Braun comes up, runner on first, rips one the opposite way as that is back, and that is Gonzo Alonso. Ryan Braun connects on his 9th home run of the season to give the Brewers a lead. They're 3-2 as Kyle Loesch gets some run support here, and then he calms down when he comes back in. Top second gets the opposing pitcher, Max Scherzer, to strike out. About top third, Bryce Harper, the young kid at the plate, he goes down on the slider. Now we skip things over to the top half of the fifth. Runner on first, 2 outs. Ian Desmond rips one down the third baseline. Cayaspo backhands it, fires across the diamond. Scoop from Lucroy at first, playing first today, as the catcher Robinson Diaz is playing catcher. Casey Jansen comes in now for the Nationals in the bottom half of the sixth. Jonathan Lucroy takes the 0-2 pitch and gets it past Zimmerman at first as he misses that ball completely. So Lucroy is on first now. Ryan Braun at the plate with an 0-1 count. and he rips one into the right center field gap. Lucroy wasn't sure if it would land, so he holds up for a second there. He'll still get to third, though, as Braun has himself an easy stand-up double, and second and third now. And now later on our next batter up is Chris Davis as he draws an intentional walk. So bases loaded now. 2 batters later is Alberto Callaspo. A passed ball gets back to the backstop. Lucroy comes in from third base, scores, makes it a 4-2 game, getting some insurance runs for this Brewers bullpen. So now, Callaspo rips one to deep center field. Looks like it could get out of here, but it just loses all its power right at the wall. And that will cause a tag up and make it a 5-2 ball game as Callaspo gets a sac fly RBI. Skip things over to the top half of the 9th inning as K-Rod comes in to look for his 12th save of the season, and it gets Denard Span to ground out to Callaspo for that 12th save of the season, as the Milwaukee Brewers had a shaky top of the first, but they end up pitching 8 straight shutout innings and getting 5 runs, and they come away with the victory here 5-2, as that is how the cookie crumbles here at Miller Park, as the Milwaukee Brewers improve to 26-35, and the Nationals drop to 37-26. Ryan Braun got player of the game, and deservedly so, 2 for 4 with a home run and a double with 2 RBI and 2 runs as well. Alberto Callaspo 1 for 2 with a double. Scooter Gennett 1 for 4 with an RBI. Kyle Loesch gets the win. He evens out his record to 5-5. K-Rod gets his 12th save of the season. Scherzer drops to 5-6 on the season with the loss. Ian Desmond's 3 for 4, but just was not enough for his team to get the victory. 5-2 Milwaukee is your final. And with that being said, that'll wrap things up here for the Brewers baseball. And I've been your host, Jersey Born, and I'm saying goodbye.
There's no sex in your violence. There's no sex in your violence.